What are you doing?
Look at that highlight, dude. Ooh. Yeah.
This is how I run my videos. We get down to business.
Alright.
What up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, if you guys have a question or comment, you can always write it down below, or you can message me here directly on YouTube or on Snapchat or Instagram as listed below, and your question or topic could be featured in a future Nikki MGTV episode. And I also answer questions on a regular basis from there, so even if it's not for a video, you're probably going to get an answer. Question I've been getting a lot recently from several people is about relationships in the military, and we've been waiting for this video for a little bit because I didn't want to just pimp this out too quick. That's what we call it in the military, pimping people out, like pimp you out. Next to me is Justine.
Hi.
She is going to be in this video because we've been together for how long now?
Almost 5 years.
Gosh.
Almost 5 years. Please.
Suffocation. No breathing. Don't give a...
No. Okay, so anyway, before we start, I might sound a little weird because he gave me his flu.
Got her sick, bro. Got her real
so
sick. All
thank you.
messed up. It's okay. I think we can talk a little bit about military relationships and how they work and some of the troubles that you guys are going to face. Joining the military is obviously very stressful. Justine has been there for a good amount of time since I've been in. Since I've been in 8 years, other 3 years.
I was with you for 5, I think.
The troubles that you guys are going to have being in a relationship if you're in the military. I will say this, for guys, it is not as difficult as it is for a girl. And the reason for that is because when you're in the military, a lot of times guys are going to be able to find someone that wants to be with them and not really care about having a career and things of that nature a lot of times, whereas females, a lot of times the issue is finding a decent guy that will be there, because you guys have to think, you're going to be moving on a regular basis or deploying, and you need someone to kind of hold down the fort while you're doing that.
I mean, I haven't been with you when you went on deployment, but we've been overseas together, so, you know, being just the two of us in a different country is a lot more difficult than you could ever imagine. For example, like if you're in a relationship in the States and then you just move in a different state, it's much different. You can still go back home, but when you're overseas, it's much more difficult because you're 1,000 miles away, like a sea away, you know what I mean? It's like you actually have to hop on a plane to get into, like, to go back home. So it's much more difficult, but it's still not the same as you being deployed. So
it's difficult being overseas when you're together because a lot of times you can't rely on anybody, for the simple fact that normally when you are back in the States, you have someone to go to or a friend or some kind of escape if things aren't working out or you guys are having an argument. So being overseas, we noticed that we were relying on each other. Communication was much harder, and being able to do that.
We were really fresh when we went to Rota, but to be honest, it's like it's a good struggle whatever we had there, just because it made us really strong. Like for his school right now, they said, "Oh, it'll break you apart," but we've had that instance already, so we know how to prepare, or we're pretty much prepared on what's going to happen. So we know how to solve stuff by now.
It all comes down to sacrifice, like I talked about in my other video, is not only are you going to be sacrificing on your time for yourself, but when you are in a relationship, you sacrifice a lot of that time with someone that you're dating, your significant other, and it's interesting because there aren't many set hours. So if you're on a ship, you could have duty every couple of days. That person has to understand that you're not going to be home for a whole 24 hours, or, hey, we're going to go underway for this training for a week. And so having someone understand that and understand you can't always be there is very difficult.
But at the same time, it's also like, it's a learning experience. Like, you can't just learn it like that. It's a gradual, like, you know, understanding. It's not, don't expect someone to be like, okay, you understand, we can do this, and then later on you guys have difficulties and you're like, I thought we had it. You just don't. It's a gradual increase. You learn as you go.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be easy at first. It's not very simple as a regular relationship where someone only has a job for 8 hours. That's pretty much it, unless they have overtime, which is not much. But for them, it's like, okay, he goes to work at 7. I'm not sure when he's gonna come home.
Yeah.
Pretty much like right now. He goes to work at 6:30.
I leave the house at like 6
6.
in the morning every morning.
Yeah, and I never expect him to come home like around until 7. That's why
Yeah.
I always spend time with my family, because they're like, where's Nick? I was like, he's at school, and I wasn't.
work or
I'm not
whatever.
gonna be expecting him anytime soon.
And the issue is, like, if you guys are the one that's joining, you're going to realize you're going to feel really selfish, but at the same time, it's very difficult because you're the person that's, like, providing mostly for the family with all your health care, the pay, the rent, the everything. And so it's kind of like this necessary evil at the same time.
Mm-hmm. For those people that's supporting their military member, I would suggest just be strong. Like, you just have to understand the job before you actually commit on something that you don't understand. I've seen a lot of those kind of people, and trust me when I say that they don't care. Like, military don't care that you're gonna get divorced, or like, you're just ruining it for yourself and for the person that you're just breaking their heart.
And you don't understand that a lot of these people a lot of times aren't going to have a choice of what their schedule is.
Like,
I was going to get into what we see mostly. In the military, there are high divorce rates, and that's just because the fact that this is a stressful job, not only on the person, but on the person that is married to them. The stresses that we've seen are, when we were in Rota, the ships were deploying every couple months when they were rotating in and out, and spouses couldn't handle it. There were divorces happening left and right, and it was
just because it's like, once they come home from that 4-month deployment, the 4 months that they're gonna be staying, it's not like they can stay at the house within that 4 months. There's still time within that 4 months that they still have to go, or they still have to go to work for at least 9 hours a day, or
they don't get 4 months off, which is difficult because
so technically they're just there for within that 4 months, maybe 2 months or even a month. Seeing that opens my eyes to what can happen to me and him.
Yeah.
Because for me, I told him that I'm okay. I'd rather do an 8 months deployment or a year deployment, and I can see him permanently for like a year, which is very good deal, when better than that 4 on and 4 off.
Yeah,
I think
I would say this, that if you guys are joining, realize it's going to be a little bit harder to find someone out there. The other issue is people, or this stereotype is more given to women on the dependa, is what they're called, and this ideology of like a fat female that is just with you for the benefits of the military. But then the other stereotype that we have in the military is a Jody, which is the person that is there for your spouse when you're gone. We call that person that's with your spouse Jodies. Whenever someone's gone on deployment, they'll be like, oh, is Jody there? Or something joking like that.
But the thing is, like, if you both understand each other and if you really love each other, it's like nothing can break that wall between you two. It's that will and that trust and everything else that comes in a relationship. You just gotta believe in the relationship between you two, and it's gonna work out.
When you deploy, you have to realize that your whole life is going to be still continuing here. And so that person's going to be in the house every day. They're going to take care of your kids. They're going to be the person that you come back to and that you ultimately have to talk to. If you don't have good trust issues with that person, or you're joining and that person is that you're with is very jealous or insecure, you may have a very difficult time. I've seen where there has been females that have been in the military where their spouse was not very happy with anywhere they went, but I'm sorry, you do have to have trust in this, because this is a male prominent society still. We're not still 50-50 within the military. So that has been an issue. Alright guys, so those are some of the complexities that we have with relationships in the military. Justine is coming on the channel, and she actually has her own channel, which we're going to pimp out. If you're a female and you want to see some beauty stuff, she actually has a good catalog so far of videos. She's looking to come up as well and hopefully influence you guys. And if you guys have questions about being the non-military member, or male or female or whatever, if you guys have questions for her, you can leave them down below and I can always have her answer you, or you can look at her Instagram and message her there if you have any questions as well.
Yep.
Alright guys, that wraps up a video. If you have a question about the military, you can always leave it down below. You can put it in the direct message here on YouTube or on Instagram, and it could be featured in a future Nikki MGTV episode. And if you like this episode and want to see more of Justine, make sure you throw a like on this and subscribe for future videos. As always, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Love you.
Bye.
In every venue, in every state, every memory along the way, I'll never forget, so please don't forget.